Okay, so this video is about making packets. Spell packets, arrow packets, also throwing darts, any kind of packet. We have two types of packets in FanWar. We have the AV0 type packet, which is just a cloth and a rubber band, and then we have the sock ball packets, which are much bigger. They're made out of a sock and usually a bigger inside, and I'll show you how to make both of those. Both are needed in various colors, red, blue, yellow, green, purple, orange, all the colors. And so arrows are the most commonly needed, though. Arrows are the orange ones, and so if you're thinking about making some of these for LARP, orange is for packets is the most commonly needed. We ran into them really quickly. So I'm going to show you how to make these. It's really simple. You just get a piece of a lot of orange cloth, and you cut out a nice 6-inch square. There it is. And then you have two options for your fill. You can go with birdseed. If you do get birdseed, make sure you get the finer type. Don't get a lot of these sunflower seeds. They really poke through a lot. Let's shoot for some that doesn't have any of that. You can even pick them out if you have to. Or you can go with sand. Sand is good, but it's heavier. So if you're going to use sand, make the pack a little smaller, or just use less fill. So I'll show you how to do a birdseed one. You can take a scooper, pretty even scoop, and just scoop up your birdseed and put it in the middle of your square. The amount varies, but too big is really the major problem here. Too small is not usually a problem, so I would shoot for small. You take up the corners and put them together, and then the other two corners, just have them all meet in the center, and then you just grab it around the middle there, and then kind of twist it a couple times just to get it to seat up. And then you can feel it and see if you think it's going to be about the right size you want. If it's not, you can add a little more, take some out. Next, you take a rubber band. I want these medium-sized rubber bands, not the really huge ones. And you can get these at Staples. They're come in big bags of them. You just twist it like that, and then you take your rubber band and you stick it right over it, and then you just keep continually going over and over and over. Not extremely tight, because then your rubber band's going to break, but just tight enough that it's not going to come undone. And you move up the back of this arrow. And if you want it to be, have more of a center to hold on to, you can make it long, or you can leave it short. So there's that center part right there. That's a completed arrow. That's a birdseed arrow, and that's pretty good. You want it to be a little loose, but they usually wear in too. So if you make it too loose, it will end up wearing out faster. So there's a completed arrow there. Now for a sand one, you might use a slightly smaller cloth. You could use one that's maybe 5 by 5 or even rectangle like this, and you're going to use much less with the sand. You're just going to put a little bit of sand in there in the middle, because it's really heavy, and these things, when they hit, they can hurt if they're too big, especially if you have somebody who really pitches the packet. So you just take it up. You can see it's much smaller than the birdseed ones. A lot of people like the birdseed ones. It gives them more to hold on to. They can throw them much better. But if you work in parks like we do, where there are a lot of squirrels, birdseed doesn't work so well, because the squirrels quickly learn that they are little snacks, nice little wrapped up packages for them to go and eat and have lunch. So we use sand and we intersperse them, and it's worked pretty good to confuse the squirrels enough that they don't steal them as much. So same process here, just wrapping the rubber band around the center there, and over again, getting that packet. Now it's even more important that the sand ones be not packed too tightly. It really can be a problem if they are. And you want to smooth sand. If the sand is too coarse, then you're going to get big chunks that are going to poke people when it hits. So you want to be careful about that. You can try mixtures of sand and birdseed, but kind of defeats the purpose. The nice thing about sand is that it doesn't rot. So these are much better in rainy climates, or along with it's really rainy weather. Using the sand ones, the birdseed ones will sprout if you get them too wet or you don't dry them out. You can throw these in the dryer if they get wet, all of them, and just run them in the dryer for a while. It dries them right out, so they're very durable that way. We need all kinds of colors, so orange of course is the most needed. Gray also for throwing darts or throwing stars, but we don't use them that much. And then of course all the spell colors, the classic 5 spell colors, as well as purple. But the main 5 are really important. So if you got cloth and you're gonna make these, that's great. Now for spell balls, the big ones, the sock type, like for example a terror ball, you just take the black sock and you work from there. The beginning process is exactly the same as a normal arrow. Actually, you use like some birdseed, or you can use some sand, but of course not. This is birdseed. You wouldn't want this much sand; that'd be really heavy. And you just make a kind of an oversized packet out of some spare cloth, and the cloth color doesn't matter. You know, you can use an old T-shirt or anything really, because it's not even going to be seen. You just take that and you kind of ball it up with a little extra cloth, wrap it around, not tight. You know, you're just going to make a ball that's going to be the core of your terror ball here. So then you're going to take this and open up the sock, and just take that in your hand and just take it right down on in, and push it into the center, like that. And then once you got that ball like that, you're going to grab it and you're going to twist it, and you open up your hand a little bit to give it a little resistance, and then you kind of use the hand that's in the sock to kind of devour the ball like that, grabbing it and inverting the sock. You pull it back over, and that sort of tightens it up. Now you repeat this process a couple times. Usually just 1 to 2 times is enough for it to keep it from ever coming out. There we go, like that. That leaves a little bit of tail, which is what you want, because you want to have something to put in the belt loop so it doesn't fall. And then it's nice to cut some fringes in this tail so that when it flies, it looks a little more fiery or magical. It's nice. It gives it a little flash as it flies through the air, so I'm recommending cutting it a little bit. You don't have to. You know, it can always be done later too, so it's not critical that you do this step, but it does add, I think, that touch that makes it really look much more like a spell and less like just a sock. So when that flies, it gets a nice flash to it. And you can feel it, squish it around, make sure it feels pretty good. And there you go. There's your terror ball. We need these, of course, in all different colors, all the 5 main colors, as well as purple. The yellow and brown ones we don't use as much, but we still need them. And you know, one of the ones we need a lot of are the white ones. So of course those are easy to make, because white socks are easy to find. And if you want to, if you're thinking about making a whole bunch, you can get the RIT dye, which comes in all different colors. And go ahead and follow the instructions on the inside. Just take a whole bunch of socks like this, or a whole bunch of cloth that you have, an old sheet even, works great for making packets if you have the same color of the socks. Throw all the socks in, throw all the old sheet in or whatever it is, and then just pick your color, and then throw it in the dye bath and just run it, and then rinse it out. Once you do that, be sure that you put some bleach into your washing machine and wash it out when you're done. You won't want to, get color on all the rest of your clothes. Or if you're afraid of even using the washing machine, you really don't have to. Just get a nice big bucket, 5-gallon bucket from your home improvement center, and fill it with some nice hot water. And you can follow the instructions in here for not using the washing machine, and just do it all by hand. I've done that as well. So either way works great, but these are definitely needed, and we always run out of them. So bringing them to events is always welcomed. All right, thank you.